Hey everybody, welcome to Advisory. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today is Wednesday, and we are going to continue our series on
How to be a Longhorn.
and that is going to today entail our dress code.
It's the dress code. It's the dress code. It's the dress code. La, 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 la. It's the dress code, baby.
Yes, that's right, folks. We're going to be talking about the dress code today. But before we get into the details of our dress code, I wanted to first kind of go over why we have one in the first place. You might be saying,
Mr. Hall, it's 2024. Why do we still have a dress code? Why can't I just wear whatever I want? Why do we need to talk about this at all?
that's a very good question. Let's go through what it says in the handbook. Why a dress code? To promote students' understanding of expectations of dressing in a professional environment. This code teaches grooming and hygiene, prevents disruption, minimizes safety hazards, and maintains a positive learning climate. So, really, it's to help you understand what it means to dress professionally and just how we present ourselves in general. While we do think that it's important for people to express themselves with their clothing, and learning your own style is a very important thing to do, but our desire to present ourselves in a certain way, to dress a certain way, is not the only thing at play, because we also have to think about how others are perceiving us when we dress the way that we dress. For instance, if I go into a job interview, or maybe I even go into work one day and I'm dressed really sloppy, I've got a really wrinkly shirt that's not collared, it looks like I just pulled it out of the laundry. Maybe I've got some sweatpants with some like mustard stains on it or something like that. My hair's all messed up. Even if I decided that day, hey, I want to go out looking like this, I don't care about my shirt, I don't care about my mustard stained pants or my hair. I just want to go out and be me. And that's fine until someone looks at me, maybe my boss, maybe Miss Wing, or maybe somebody, if I'm going into an interview, maybe the person who's interviewing me, they look at that dress and they see how I take care of myself. And immediately they start thinking, this may not be the best fit, because people look at how you dress and they automatically, whether we like it or not, start to think about what we are like as a person. So, really, what our school dress code should be is an encouragement for people to dress professionally and to learn what it means to dress professionally for future reference when you need to for an interview or job or whatever. We're going to get into lots of details here in a minute, but the big picture is this. Clothes at WT White must be worn in such a way that the abdomen, genitals, buttocks, undergarments, and chest are completely covered.
Ew, he said genitals. Ew, Mr. Hall, gross.
As uncomfortable as it was for you to hear me say those things, it's even more uncomfortable when those things are exposed in a professional environment like school. So that's the main thing, is that everything has to be covered, and it has to be covered with items of clothing that are appropriate. You can't have any tattoos or clothing that promote the use of drugs, alcohol, tobacco, or sex, or promote hate, violence, or gang related activity. Again, it goes back to, how do you want to be perceived? These things are not school appropriate to have. In some cases, they are illegal for you to have. And so wearing clothing that promotes those things is also not appropriate for school. Let's go to the handbook for these specifics. I'm going to scroll down to the first thing, which is our dress and grooming. The top paragraph essentially explains that while WT White does not require students to wear uniforms, there are guidelines for professional dress at school. And it's the job of both students and parents to collaborate and make sure that the clothing that you wear is school appropriate. So when it comes to shirts, the shirt must fit the individual properly, and shirts can be long or short capped sleeve, and shirts must cover your midsection. So no tanks or camis, tube or halter tops, no lewd or inappropriate graphics or text, kind of what we were talking about a while ago. And of course, no shirts that have see-through fabric.
That kind of defeats the purpose of a shirt.
Bottoms, the main thing here is
You gotta wear pants.
Please wear pants to school.
but the color doesn't matter, the material doesn't matter, as long as it is not sheer or see-through. And if you have holey pants, that is okay, as long as those holes don't go too far up the leg. Skirts and dresses have to follow the same requirements as the tops and bottoms did, making sure that everything is properly covered at all times. Belts are permissible and have to be worn at the natural waistline. And just make sure to bring belts that are not going to set off the metal detectors. So if it's just like a bunch of metal studs, probably shouldn't bring that one. Probably just go with a regular leather belt. Shoes. This is a big one. Shoes have to be worn at all times. No shoes, no service. And you want to avoid things with really thin or flimsy soles like house shoes or flip flops because you never know what you may step on, and you want to make sure that your feet are protected. Make sure that if you're wearing slides or anything like Crocs that they have a back to them, and we're not going to allow any shoes with wheels and steel toe boots or shoes. You definitely don't need. This is
Not a construction site.
or at least not a construction site anymore. You can wear any sweaters or sweatshirts or jackets. No hoods are allowed on the head while inside of the building. Just don't be surprised if somebody asks you to take it down. Hats are generally allowed, but they can't cover the ears or the face, and they may not include any lewd or inappropriate text or graphics. Religious head wraps are, of course, permitted, and caps and head wraps worn for medical reasons are also, of course, permitted. These are kind of the other things to think about: face shields, masks, gaiters, accessories. Mouth coverings are not required, but you may wear them if you wear a mask to maybe you're sick one day and you don't want to spread it, or you don't want to get it from others whenever it comes time for flu season or something like that. That's fine. But of course, any accessory that is deemed unsafe or offensive or extreme in nature is not appropriate. This, by the way, includes ski masks, balaclavas, or other full coverage masks. Those will not be allowed. We've got to see at least most of your face. Those are all of the guidelines. It's important to note that on Thursdays, which is
Tomorrow,
we have College and Career Day, which means you can wear a college or university spirit shirt. Any college that you're either planning on going to or that you're just a big fan of, you can wear that college's merch that day, and everyone will do so as well. On Fridays, though, it is
Longhorn Spirit Day.
whatever you got that shows your Longhorn pride, you show that off on Fridays, all right? If you're in a club or you're in athletics or something like that, you can wear your sports gear, your jerseys. But if you're not, show your school spirit by wearing Longhorn stuff on Fridays. All right, that does it for dress code for our How to Be a Longhorn today. We'll have more How to Be a Longhorn lessons over the next few days. But now I want you to move on to the next activity. So the last couple of days we learned names, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about each other through these icebreaker questions. Teachers, you have the questions and the instructions in the weekly overview document for this. Basically, an advisor will choose a student, either by choice or at random. The student chooses a number between 1 and 36, and then the student will answer the question associated with that number. If you don't like the question that you're given, you get one more chance to choose a number between 1 and 36, but then you have to answer that question. And they're really nice and easygoing questions, nothing too serious. So it's just an opportunity for us to have a little fun, for your teachers to get to know you, and for you to get to know the rest of your classmates. I hope you enjoy those questions. I hope you enjoy getting to know each other. Be good to yourself and others, and I'll see you tomorrow.